welcome once again to the Movies and Stuff Show. We are coming to you live from the suburbs of New Jersey and Missouri. My name is Dan, and joining me is a man who is not aware that things that you like on Twitter are actually made public knowledge. Abe.
I bet Twitter wishes they could keep their stock prices from public knowledge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was only joking there. You don't even go on Twitter.
It's a cesspool. I hate it. It's not my place to be.
And I mean, no one would be that out of touch as to realize that if you like, say, at I like to touch _ a Twitter account that has some very not suitable for work pictures of girls touching, that if you followed that on Twitter, no one is that out of touch to think that people would not be aware of that, right?
I would think so.
You would think that someone who's on Twitter would know how Twitter works. You like something, you follow something, then it's public, right?
Isn't that the whole point of it?
That is the whole point of it.
Okay.
But apparently, and I hate this scumbag anyway because I'm a Celtics fan, and he was a dirty son of a bitch and deserved to be punched in the face when he played for the Lakers in the 80s. Apparently, interim head coach of the New York Knicks, Kurt Rambis, had no idea. And he liked I Like to Touch, which features these women touching.
Is that it?
And the Knicks are saying that his account was hacked.
Oh, the old my account was hacked.
That's what they're saying. But on the surface, it just looks like Kurt was just trying to see some dirty pictures online. And got caught.
And this is a story?
It's a story.
Because
I think they're saying that his account was hacked.
He can't just come out and say, yeah, okay. I just wanted to see some pics and just own it. And just, that's it.
You know? Apparently, should we go into like the moral compass of this country? Should we address that topic? Is now the time to address the moral compass of this country that we live in?
Is it?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to solve the problems of the world right now.
I don't know if we'll ever solve the problems of the world. Maybe some. But, here's a dude.
Who wanted to see some dirty pics? I mean,
he's the coach of a professional basketball team. If that's the worst that he's doing, he could be Isaiah Thomas. He could be sexually harassing women.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be a lot worse. He could be a college coach that allows prostitution in the dorm rooms.
Yeah, there's that too.
Allegedly. I mean, there's just so many bad things that he could have done. Here he was.
He was probably sitting on the toilet looking at a couple dirty pics on Twitter.
And now his account was hacked.
Are these really dirty pics?
Oh, yeah. Very.
Okay, so just porn on Twitter. That's it.
It's pretty much porn on Twitter. I mean, I caught the screen cap from Deadspin, and the one pic that they had that showed up on his page that he liked was pretty racy.
Oh.
Definitely not suitable for this podcast. Which is to say, pretty awful.
Fair enough. I remember when Derek Thomas, an old linebacker for the Chiefs, went to a strip club and everybody thought the damn world was falling. It's like I can't even muster enough fake outrage to be pissed off about this.
Now, as long as they don't walk out of said strip club, punching someone, shooting themselves in the leg, DDTing someone to the stage, as long as they're not doing that, now it's a non-story.
Yeah, I guess so.
Pretty much we've come to accept that.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't want to dwell on this too much. If social media was around in the days of like Lou Gehrig, Ty Cobb, Joe DiMaggio.
Ty Cobb. We don't want to know what fucking forums Ty Cobb would be saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like DiMaggio, following DiMaggio around and tweeting everything he's doing.
Yeah.
Gehrig, and Gehrig was a drunk. The
Babe wasn't
even
exactly,
Babe Ruth.
He wasn't a teetotaler either.
He wasn't John Goodman.
Man, it's just we hold these people to just absurdly high standards. He liked something on Twitter. He shouldn't have liked it. That's the bottom line. He's a fucking idiot for doing it, but still, who the hell cares?
Well, he should have just had a sock puppet account. See, he's just not in tune to how things work. He could have just had a fake account that he goes to watch porn on Twitter with.
Right. He needs to. I mean, Daniel Knopf knows the importance of sock puppets, or at least that they're out there. Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
They're out there. Did you see Netflix is trying to become HBO?
Really?
And HBO is trying to become Netflix.
It's just everybody's. What's going on?
I mean, well, essentially, it's leading to what appears to be the cord cutter's dream scenario. Everyone's just trying to, do their own thing. They don't want to be reliant on being part of a cable package. They want to do their own thing. They want to just produce as much content as possible and sell it. And I have the question is, will we actually see savings from all of this? That is my question. I mean, you're going to have a Netflix account, a Hulu account, an Amazon account, an HBO account, a CBS account, yada, 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 yada. We'll have a monthly fee to pay for each one of those. And eventually, do you think we're going to get to the part where someone's going to say, man, I just wish someone would consolidate all of this so we can pay one price to one person instead of 30 different content providers?
No, yeah, I'm with you there. I actually ran some quick numbers really fast. I didn't know how much I paid per month. I pay $7.99 for Netflix. I pay $11.99 to Hulu for the commercial-free option. It's $100 a year to Amazon. And because I wanted to watch Ash versus the Evil Dead, I paid $8.99 a month for the Stars add-on on Amazon. $4.46 a year, $4.46 a year, and I still have to keep cable for sports. There's no sports option out there at all. Like, right. I mean, okay, I could get
Emma. The ESPN one now. ESPN has one now. They just came up with one, right?
Yeah.
I think ESPN has one, but still, that's a fraction. If CBS goes their route, you'll get some from there, I guess.
It
depends on the licensing.
Right? Are they still gonna region lock? I guess basically teams. Will I be able to watch the Royals or the Chiefs on the CBS app? Because right now you can't. I can't. Right. If I have the MLB TV, I still have to watch the Royals on TV.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's blacked out here.
That's interesting.
That's my big concern right there, because I'm never going to save money at this point. It's just add-ons and add-ons and add-ons.
Right.
But no, it is a neat idea. I know a while back Netflix said we gotta outdo HBO before HBO outdoes us.
Yeah. They're essentially trying to be each other, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's whoever becomes that perfect blend of each other first.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it has to come down to. Like, it has to come. I mean, HBO, you'd say, has the lead on original content. It's got the head start. It's been doing it forever. This original content. Netflix doesn't. They distribute. They don't actually produce it. They're not producing this content. They're distributing it.
Well, don't they produce their own?
Well, Orange is the New Black is produced by someone else. They just distribute it.
Okay.
So most of their big shows, they're just produced by another company. Like Netflix, it's a Netflix show, but they're the distributor. They're not really producing it. HBO is got everything. I think Netflix is trying to become the producer now that they have more funds, that they're actually producing the shows.
Because I thought they were all trying to get into this.
Yeah.
Amazon and Hulu too.
Yeah. But, that was the whole draw with Hannibal. And Hannibal on NBC. NBC wasn't producing Hannibal. The De Laurentiis company was producing Hannibal. They were putting up the funds, and then NBC was just paying, essentially, to air it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm interested to see where it goes. I want to see where this all goes. Ultimately, cable companies. My end goal is I don't want to give up cable. Mine is I want to have a menu that I select the channels that I want. and I just pay for that, you know.
Right. It's just absurd that we have to keep this one size fits all cable packages now.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's current year, Dan. It's time for them to upgrade.
Right. You should, you know, they could have tiers, if that's it, like tiers of channels, like have them fall into, and you can get X amount of tiers, you know, like add it all up. Like you have 30 points to play with, right? And you can take two 10-point tiers if you want, and that, you know, whatever it is, like you get to choose. You have this amount for this package point, you got X amount to play with, house money. And you choose the, you know, channels that you want that meet that threshold.
Right.
So if the lower tiers are 1 point each and the higher tiers are like 10 points each, you just figure it out for that money that you're spending. $30 a month, $40, whatever it is. Maybe it really is like it goes up $10 each time. You get 10 more points to play with for every, you know, $10 you spend. Whatever it is, it's got to be something.
Jamil's telling us in the chat that we need to check out Sling TV. He says it's a streaming service with select cable channels for $20 a month.
Interesting.
No, yeah, that sounds cool. I might have to check that out.
Yeah. Comcast is the devil.
Yes.
You know, I have Verizon Fios. I think I've mentioned that on the show before. Mm-hmm. I have Fios. I like it. Overall, I like it. My issue is twofold. One, customer service is not that great.
Well, every cable company. I mean, every single fucking one is that.
There you go. The techs, whenever the techs have to come out to my house, they're great. I have no problem with the tech. I get along with the tech guy, but the customer service. And two is basically they'll tell you something when you're talking to a customer service. And I know that they're recording it, but I guess I should be recording it too, because they'll say, "Oh yeah, this is how much you're going to pay." And then when you get the bill, so what the hell's all this? But we said this and this.
Fees.
It's just feces. Yeah, just ridiculous. I've thankfully had it resolved. I hope for now. Cable wire hanging too low in my street. Every time someone moved into the neighborhood or moved out, a moving truck would pull that cable wire down. So I've had to have Verizon come out a few times to put that cable wire back up. So hopefully it's fixed now. Hopefully they made it tall enough.
There we go.
Last topic for stuff. I said we were going to double stuff this week. I lied. We're only going to single stuff.
Kurt Rambis would like that.
A picture surfaced today. Not of Kurt Rambis watching porn.
No.
That shows Zack Snyder on the set of Justice League with Jason Momoa, who is playing Aquaman, right? And it's a picture of them together. And in the background, there's some interesting stuff, including a Flash costume, what looks to be a Flash costume. There's a black costume that some people have been guessing could be Nightwing's, or a pre-painted Green Lantern costume. I saw that online. It might just be like the shell of a Green Lantern costume. So some cool stuff for us to guess upon. But I think the thing to talk about here, since it was a big kind of issue in the last couple of weeks, does this quell some of the rumors that Warner Brothers is delaying production of Justice League as it awaits to see the outcome of next month's Batman v Superman?
I don't know. I mean, is that what we're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
That is what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. But just recently, someone said that Warner Brothers was nervous over the the potential box office of Batman v Superman, and it was causing them to rethink the whole Zack Snyder being involved in everything. Someone at a website said that, right?
Yeah.
Now, seeing this picture, does it seem like it's Snyder kind of giving a genuine behind-the-scenes look, or maybe just doing a self-serving, no, we're good? Or both?
I think you got to say it's both.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can say it's one or the other. I mean, I always feel like there's always ulterior motives with every move they're making, man. I mean, I think you got to always assume that there's levels to everything going on.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. I don't trust them just to be on the up and up, straightforward.
No, no, not at all. And I think Snyder has the case to say "fuck you" a little bit. I do. I think he gets a lot of shit from people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree? Do you think Snyder gets, or do you think he's deserved of that shit that he gets?
No, no, I think he gets too much shit. I really
think so
do.
too.
Yeah.
I don't. He's not. I understand he's not people's cup of tea. I get that.
Right.
But I mean, like, does he really deserve the Michael Bay treatment?
Oh God, no. Oh,
Right?
God, no.
I don't see him to be like he's not on that level.
No, no, no. Okay, so big fucking deal. The Watchmen didn't drop a squid in New York. Instead, they went with a different ending, and he gets nothing but hate because of that.
Yeah, I like Watchmen. That prison break scene is still one of my favorite scenes.
That's really good.
Like action scene. I think it's really well done.
No, I think Snyder does good.
Yeah. So exciting stuff. People can kind of dissect. Did you think Nightwing? You think that could be a Nightwing costume or?
Man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to defer to people that know more than I do. I think a little bit. I always thought Nightwing had more
Bluish?
blue,
Right?
Blue embellishes. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like, you never know what Zack Snyder's doing with his photography and special effects. Well, because I mean, a lot of people are kind of like criticizing the original picture of like Wonder Woman when they first saw it, but it just had to do with the lens that he was using when he took the picture.
That was weird. Yeah.
And the costume itself is fine, but it was just the lens that he was using. And it's the same thing that made like Apocalypse in the original trailer for X-Men look like he was Ivan Ooze.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm willing to wait and see.
Yeah, that's all we can do. You know what else we can wait and see is our main topic for this week. We will take a quick break. When we return, we're going to talk about the top 10 best TV series finales according to Abe and I. We will be right back. Stay tuned. And welcome once again to the Movies and Stuff show. We are talking about the top 10 best TV series finales. And going to the live chat, just looking at it, Jamil says that Zack Snyder needs a good writer.
He's right on the money there. He does.
For those of you who are not watching this live and you're watching just this segment, in a previous segment, we were talking about Zack Snyder and the kind of shit that he gets. But we were going to move into our top 10 list. If you don't know how this works, I pick 5, Abe picks 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. 7 plus 3 is 10, but that means absolutely nothing here because we each pick 5. My number 5, Psych. Now, you watched some of Psych, right? You didn't watch it all.
No. I watched it when it was on, but I never made a point to actually watch the show.
So you didn't watch the last season? You didn't watch the finale?
No.
See, I kind of feel bad here that we're talking about shows that we might not have seen. Do you care if I ruin it for you?
No, go for it. Tear it up.
I'm gonna. As I go through this, I will ask you if it's okay if I ruin the ending, and if you're not wanting to know, I'll edit it up a bit. For everyone else that's listening, I guess you're getting the ending ruined for you. You know, I loved Psych. I thought it was a very funny show. I thought it was underrated. I thought a very stellar ensemble cast. I thought it was really funny. Unfortunately, its last season was pretty much a letdown. It wasn't as funny. It was disjointed. Overall, I was just bummed that it was going out this way, because I enjoyed it so much, and the final season was such a letdown. But then the finale came, and it was great. It was a great finale, and the name of the finale is called The Breakup, and that's pretty much what it is. Gus and Sean realize that their business as a psychic detective is about to be over, and so Sean starts putting together like a DVD as a video goodbye to everyone. And at the very end, Lasseter's watching his video, and Sean's about to admit that he's not a psychic to Lasseter, because Lasseter is always suspected that
right.
Sean's
always.
So he's about to admit that he's not a psychic. Lasseter turns off the DVD, takes that and breaks it in half before
because
Sean.
he doesn't want to know.
Yep. Now, if you take it on the surface, just right there, it's like, wow, that was a really kind of sweet, bittersweet kind of ending.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, if he admits that he's not a psychic, all those cases that they won because they had their psychic detect, wouldn't they all be overturned?
I would assume so. Yeah.
That would just be awful.
And he could, yeah. God. No, that's really a nice ending, though. I like that.
It was good. It was a good ending, and again, it was a nice way to cap off that pretty bad season too. So. Your number 5.
My number 5. I know that this is it's kind of an older show now, but my number 5 is Newhart.
Classic.
Yeah, I mean,
Classic.
not many shows have a setup for a 20-year-old joke, and that was brilliant. When Bob wakes up next to Suzanne Plachette, that's just a master. That's a master stroke of an ending right there. I mean, it's so iconic that Craig Ferguson woke up to Bob Newhart in his finale. Mm-hmm. I love that joke. Yeah, there's not a lot of depth to it, and obviously, I mean, if you treat the universe as it's a real universe, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But still, it was a funny way to end. Very clever.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's well known for that as well.
Oh yeah,
it's a very well known ending, and
yeah.
In a way, it's not not that it's been done several times, but variations of it. Patrick Duffy, like waking in the shower.
I think that was actually first, right?
Was that first? Was that before Newhart?
I think the Dallas ending was first. Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, then I take that back. Newhart ripped that off then.
Yeah. But I mean, like the Dallas one was just to invalidate a whole season.
That was so weird. I mean, it's almost, and I don't want to shit on the Roseanne finale, but do you remember that?
No, I don't.
So basically, in the final season of Roseanne, they win the lottery. They become millionaires.
Right.
They're living the high life. But then in the finale, you realize that it was just like kind of like a dream, like a psychotic kind of breakdown for Roseanne, because Dan had actually died of the heart attack, and it was just kind of like this wishful parallel universe thinking that she was doing.
Mm.
So
really,
yeah, it's really,
man, I must have not have seen it.
It's not bad. It's not a bad ending. It's just kind of weird, and it kind of the whole thing just erased that whole season, if you will. So
that's not for me. That's not for me at all.
You don't like. See, Jamil's even saying that Roseanne did it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't for me, and the fact is that it just kind of just invalidates everything that you're watching. Just kind of silly.
Right. It's a cheat. Yeah. All right. I'm done with this.
All right. Number 4. For me, it's Carnival. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this one since we covered it last week, but it was a show that didn't get a proper finale. It was canceled in season 2, so it doesn't actually have a series finale, but the season 2 finale serves as a great series finale. And there's unanswered questions, and I kind of like the uncertainty behind it because I think it worked for the story's model. It's a cycle of good versus evil over generations, and it'll keep happening until there's the event that causes magic to end in the world, and then there's a different kind of war that starts. So I think it was a beautiful kind of ending, and it let my imagination kind of run wild over what is going to happen over these next few years of battle, and who's going to be maybe the next generation of good versus evil, and how that all plays out. And a lot of that was eventually answered by Knopf in an interview he did with the AV Club. But I dig that. I think it was a great series, and even though it was not meant to be a series finale, I think it turned out to be a great series finale.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that. You're right on. It didn't wrap up everything perfectly, but it gave you enough closure that it doesn't just completely ruin,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't Twin Peaks you.
Well, we're getting more of that.
Yeah.
So.
We need some more Carnival too, brother.
Yeah, well, you didn't need more X-Files, did you?
Oh, fuck. No. No.
Do you want to talk about that? You want to take a minute to talk about, was the X-Files finale one of the greatest finales you've ever seen?
No. No.
I heard people screaming about that.
Yeah, the one last night. Yeah, Twitter and Reddit just went nuts about the X-Files.
That's funny.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. I'm going to move on to my number 4. My number 4 is Spaced.
I wonder if a lot of people know about this one.
I would assume they do, don't they? Or
Maybe.
no? Is it not well known? I know there's a there's a bit of a backlash going right now against Edgar Wright for some reason. I don't know quite. I never quite understand sometimes the backlashes that happened. But man, Spaced was magical. I mean, it was low budget and it was shot. It was such a wonderful energy about it. I love it. They're like little mini movies, just really mini low budget movies. And the characters are just so much fun to be around. And to see them all just kind of, I don't want to say wrap up, but just, this is their life. This is where they all belong to be. They all belong in that building together.
So I didn't see the finale. What's essentially happens in the finale?
Basically, Daisy's going to leave. Marsha's pissed at them because she finally figures out they've been lying to her the whole time. And Tim and Brian figure out a plan to get everybody back together. And they do. It just ends with Tim and Daisy just watching TV together, just like they always have been. Just right where they belong. It's the perfect ending for that show.
So it's essentially a precursor for Shaun of the Dead.
Pretty much, except, he wants to have sex with a woman in this one and not...
Zombies.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's very fitting.
Yeah, I think so too.
Space is really funny. Like I haven't seen a ton of it. What I've seen of it, I really liked.
Yeah, it's fun. It's on Hulu, guys. You should check it out.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Well, I've got one episode left of Deadwood.
Oh.
That was my latest marathon. I got one left.
Okay. There you go.
So Deadwood's not on my list because I haven't seen the finale yet.
It wouldn't be on your list anyway.
My number 3. I'm going with Hannibal. It was just on the air. Do you care if I ruin this ending for you? You know about the ending?
No, I don't know about the ending, and I don't care if you ruin it for me.
Okay. It is perhaps the most bromantic ending to a show ever. And similar to Carnival, Hannibal was always on the bubble. It didn't get renewed after season 3, so the season 3 finale serves as the series capper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And essentially this is what happened after joining up to stopping the Red Dragon. An exhausted and bloody duo of Hannibal and Will Graham embrace each other in a man hug. It's a really good hug. And then Will launches him and Hannibal off a cliff.
Oh, so
that's how it ends.
They're Reichenbached.
That's how it ends.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a great scene. It's beautifully shot. It's great, well acted. And I think it's a great ending to. It's a very divisive series. I think a lot of people either loved or hated Hannibal. I think that there's very little middle ground of people that was like, oh, I just liked it. I think it was a very love-hate relationship with Hannibal. You just stopped watching it in season 3, right? That was just too much for you?
I wouldn't say it was too much for me. I liked it up till season 3, and I'm like, oh no, this is, yeah. Your head, or I guess the show's head, is so far up its ass right now, just enamored with itself. I'm like, nah, this, yeah. And I don't know this for a fact, but I swear to God, if you get your budget cut, you can shoot surrealistic images in very, very, very slow-mo way and just really pad your runtime to reduce the cost. I'm telling you, that's what happened. They introduced a hell of a lot more slow-mo than they ever had, I should say, and then that allowed them to operate under a lower budget.
It's an interesting thought. The only problem with this ending, though, is there's kind of like a post-credits teaser after.
Yeah.
And it has Gillian Anderson's character, and it kind of alludes to Hannibal surviving, Like, that's the kind of assumption, but...
Well, doesn't he have to get to Silence of the Lambs?
Well, to get to season 4, they would have to. But again, if you're just containing it into 3 seasons, I wouldn't have even shown that. Like, if you knew that this was the end of the show, I wouldn't have shown that I would have just made it like a DVD extra or some shit like that.
Oh, you would have lost everybody. Pulled a Lost.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, all that extra footage they put on the DVD. Oh, you still have questions? Well, watch this video that we have on the DVD. Yeah.
Lost almost made my list.
Oh, shit.
It almost did. It's like number 6.
No, but I really liked Hannibal for 2/3 of the time I was watching it.
It's great. It's great, and it ends really well. And I think I think my problem with the Red Dragon story arc is I've just seen it so many times.
What, this is the 3rd incarnation?
It was the 3rd incarnation.
Yeah.
4th if you count the book, I guess.
Oh, you've read the book too. So
No, I haven't read the book.
So we're not counting the book.
I'm not counting the book. I'm saying if you count the book. I'm not counting the book.
Okay.
If you did.
All right. I'm not counting the book either then.
Okay. So it's like the 3rd, and it's I know they have to change some stuff up. I know they have to stay. It's just it was tough. It was tough to like separate that. I still enjoyed it. At points, I did find season 3 to not be as sharp as the previous seasons, and I can understand why someone like you dropped off of it.
Yeah.
That said, you know me, I stick to the end.
I know you do.
I mean, it was like the investment of time for that. After that point, you've spent, say, I don't know, 40 hours, whatever, like watching a couple seasons. How many episodes were per season? 15, 13?
It was a limited run, right? It was only like 12 or so, 13.
So 26, maybe 26 hours, whatever. You spent this much time, and to not finish the final, 10 hours or whatever it is, like, to me, it's for me personally, you just got to do it.
I got you. That's fine. I'm
not faulting you. I'm not. I know you're not like that.
No.
Your time is so much more valuable that you do a show with me instead.
I get bored
That's how you spend
too
your time.
fast. Yeah.
What is your number 3, Abe?
Let's see. Well, I think we'll all be surprised here, especially me. Oh, yeah, it's The Office.
Oh, that was great when Michael shows up at the end.
No.
And he's at Dwight's wedding.
You got to keep.
Oh, that was such a great ending. You're so right.
Yeah. Fuck off. This is the Office BBC version.
Okay.
This was a perfect ending to that show. Oh man, I loved it. I'm talking about the Christmas special with Michael. Goddamn. With David Brent's career just kind of being this complete Z-lister, just getting introduced at a club and then they play music right away before he does anything, just hanging on by his fingernails to this modicum of notoriety he got from this documentary. But really what the magic is at the Christmas party, the office Christmas party. And Dawn walks back into the office just to see Tim. That is such a cheesy and perfect moment. It really is. I mean, the old will they, won't they subplot on TV has been done a trillion times, but I don't think it's ever been handled better than with Dawn and Tim. When she comes back into that Christmas party, it's really a touching moment.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Pam and Jim hook up. It's
Sure.
the same thing, yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Except even David Brent in this one, who's like the most horrible piece of shit out there. Just a really bad person. He even gets kind of a happy ending too when he finally connects with another human being and actually stands up for himself. It was a nice moment.
Does Martin Freeman play the Jim? Martin Freeman plays the Jim?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not The Office. I'm not trying to throw in NBC versus the BBC. I think they're both good shows in their own way, trying to do different things. But I really, really like this ending a whole lot.
Yeah, it's funny enough. I didn't dislike the ending to the NBC Office. I disliked the final season. Same thing. Like the final season, it was unnecessary. You know what season I liked surprisingly of the U.S. Office was the one with Robert California.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That I think that was really funny. Like that was a funny season with him as the boss, and It just worked out really well. Yeah, especially with Steve Carell leaving the show, and then they had like Jim Carrey as a potential, and they had Will Ferrell on for like an episode or two, and then he ends up dying.
It's just so weird.
It's
Yeah.
so weird, but then they bring in this guy Robert California, so it was just great. It was pretty funny. Um, yeah, but I didn't mind the Office US ending, but the last season was
They let it go on a little too long.
tough to get through.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my number two is Spartacus.
Ooh.
Okay, is this the one that you want to be preserved on?
Oh no, go for it. Go for it.
Okay. I mean, at the beginning of the series, you kind of knew that Spartacus was living on borrowed time. It's called Spartacus. You figure he's not going to survive the series.
Right.
I guess the question always was is whether we would actually see it on the screen, if we would actually see him being killed on screen. Like, you knew it was going to happen, but would we see it or not? That was the series opted to show it happen in the finale. Emotional scene, great lead up to it. There's a giant battle being built up all season. Basically Spartacus is leading this revolution of slaves, and they decide, instead of fighting the battle, that they're going to just escape. There's no way that they can win. They're just going to escape and live as free men. But then half of his army decides, no, we're going to do this. We can win this.
Oh.
So half the army goes, and they just get slaughtered. And so Spartacus says, you know what? We got to go back. And so Spartacus goes back to battle against the leader of the opposing army, Marcus Crassus, and it's just them two fighting. And that's what it's been leading up to all season. And Spartacus is kicking his ass. And it's just like, yes, this is, and then Spartacus is speared from behind from a soldier of Crassus. And so Crassus ends up, winning the battle with Spartacus because someone interfered. Spartacus's men are able to kind of fight and get, Spartacus out of there. And they, essentially they escape, and he dies as a free man, like amongst the people that he's just made free, all these slaves that he helped free. So it was a great ending. I mean, it was just a great ending. It was a great series. So well done. A little bit of a slip off in season 3, I felt, mostly because they had to replace the guy that was playing Spartacus in between seasons, because he passed away in real life. So they had to replace the whole actor that you kind of knew in like season 1, and they had to replace that. So, but great series, great finale. Really, really, really liked it.
Did they do the whole "I am Spartacus" thing? All his men stand up and they all get crucified for it.
They did to a degree. It plays really well into the plot. I'm not going to really get into that, but it plays as a matter of deception, essentially, where Spartacus is everywhere because everyone is like going and shouting, "I am Spartacus" type thing. But it's there's more to it than that, and it plays out really well in the plot. But it was really good.
Nice. No, I intend to watch it someday. I really do. I know it's on Netflix, and I do need to watch that one. So yeah, the only thing I know about Spartacus comes from Kubrick and Kirk Douglas. That's it.
Well, from our interview with Dan Knopf that he wrote and helped produce that.
Right.
So
that definitely motivated me.
And
a little bit.
his episode was called Whore. Good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. I don't have a
Number
lot.
two.
I don't have a lot to contribute on that one. Someday, we're gonna have a list where I don't put Star Trek in some way, but goddamn, I can't help it. TNG's All Good Things.
Hey, you talked to the guy who wrote it.
I did. Season 7 of Next Generation was a little shaky. I'm not gonna lie. It had some good episodes, but it had a lot more not so good episodes. So I can't even imagine the pressure that was on them to finish TNG the right way. And they did it in such a perfect way. They wrapped up the last episode by tying it in with the very first episode. And they used the best guest character on any Star Trek show ever. They used Q. And Q is just so much damn fun. And the whole whole belief that humanity is still on trial, has been on trial this whole time, was really a good idea. And it works so well with the multiple different timelines all going on at once.
Mm-hmm.
And, they hedged their bets and minimized Troy's impact in this episode. So
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good move on their part.
Remember, I was telling you, I was flipping through the channels and I came across a Troy episode.
Yes.
And you're like, oh no, turn away. It's a Troy episode.
Yes.
Yeah. TNG is one of those things that I didn't watch the whole series. Like, I'm not well versed in it per se.
Right.
But I watched enough of it that I really liked it. And I've seen the finale and I've really liked it. And it's my favorite, like, kind of iteration of Star Trek.
It's hard. You can't argue with it.
I love TNG. I love Deep Space Nine too. As well. Deep Space Nine as well, not Deep Space Nine 2. That's Deep Space Nine as well. I really enjoyed that because it was pretty much the same thing as TNG in a way. Same kind of time period, like it was around the same time.
Right. It took the toys that TNG had created and really just played with them. Just took them for a spin. Yeah.
So I enjoyed both those, but Next Generation is, to me, it's the best. It's my Star Trek to me. Like,
right.
if I had to pick it, great one. My number one.
Here we go. Drum roll.
Comes as, I guess, no surprise since I used this as the header image for the episode. Breaking Bad. It's so much to talk about here, and I actually, on my old podcast, did an entire episode dedicated to the finale. Did I tell you the story about Breaking Bad? It's in my history of binge watching TV shows.
Go for it. Tell me.
It's in my history. There was 3 weeks left before the finale of Breaking Bad. In 2 weeks, me and my wife watched 56 episodes and caught up and watched the final 3 live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Final two. Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah. We caught up. We caught up in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's some marathon watching right there, man.
It was literally like 4 episodes a night.
Wow.
We were, it was at the time where we had just had our daughter, so she was going to bed at like, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. And so we would just 4 hours of TV. It's like, all right, we're doing this. So it's thinking back on this finale, though, it still kind of haunts me. It's still beautiful in its way. It was such great TV. You got Walt making things as right as he possibly could before dying, saving Jesse in that badass kind of like action-packed scene, killing a bunch of Nazis. You got the machine gun coming up out of his car. The great scene of him ensuring that his family's getting the money well after his death.
Mm-hmm.
Just well written, funny act. It's great scene there too. And then the pure ending of just Walt dying in his in the meth lab. Badfinger's Baby Blue playing. It's just, Breaking Bad to me is the best show I've ever watched.
Whoa.
Breaking Bad is just all in the best show I've ever watched. And a lot of people kind of nitpick the final season, I feel. I think that a lot of people weren't entirely sold on the season. And there's people that didn't necessarily like the ending. I think it was a great ending. I think it's how it had to end. I'm loving Better Call Saul. I don't know have you started watching that at all?
Nope, I have not started watching it.
It's great. Great show. It's fantastic. Great thing about Better Call Saul is it kind of cuts to after Breaking Bad a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Some of it takes place after Breaking Bad, but most of it is a prequel to Breaking Bad. So, fascinating stuff.
I have a weird relationship with Breaking Bad. Yeah, I am familiar with the ending. I'm just not familiar with what happened from the first season to the ending.
Yeah, you missed some of it, right?
Yeah, I missed a little bit in between. Yeah, and I had always meant to go back and watch Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. It just never happened. I just never got around to it.
It's an obsession. It really was. Like, watching that show was a goddamn obsession. It was just, it kept me wanting to watch. But I mean, the last two shows that I've watched, I kind of feel like are an obsession too. Like at that Carnival, my binge watching that I've did at Carnival, and even Deadwood.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you're not like a huge fan of season 3 of Deadwood, and I agree that it's a step down from season 2 and season 1,
Mm-hmm.
I still enjoy it immensely. And I think, you know, just talking about Deadwood, and I have one more episode left, and the second to last episode, you know, like the man that you knew it was going to happen to, the kind man, the only true good person on the show, and he gets killed, and it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It devastated me to watch that. I knew it was going to happen because he's literally the only good man in this shitty town. I knew it was going to happen. But
Yeah,
I'm enjoying Deadwood a lot.
It had to happen. There's no other way it could happen.
Yep. Enjoy Deadwood. You know, it's funny too, is a quick tangent. I've actually been to the Hearst Castle,
Oh, really?
the William Randolph Hearst Castle. And of course, in Deadwood, his father, George Hearst, is one of the bad guys in the show.
Well, yeah. His son was kind of a bad guy too.
His castle's insane.
It's called Xanadu, right?
Yeah, I think it's just nicknamed Xanadu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Little. All right.
What is your number one?
My number one. The Wire, man.
Oh man, I might have to close my ears here.
Yeah, you may have to. I'll try and keep it from the spoilers. Season 5 of The Wire is the weakest one. There's no lie about that.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it is the weakest one, but still, it provides closure for all of its characters, while at the same time kind of showing that most everything they did just didn't matter.
Right.
I mean, it's business as usual. I mean, the cops have to realize they're just fighting, just an endless cycle that they're never going to break out of. Marlowe stands on the corner being a total unknown, while Omar's name is ensured it's going to live on forever. So I mean, Marlowe's got to realize that too. I mean, what I do doesn't matter. Glory's fleeting. The cycle of drugs and violence are just going to keep going on and on and on.
Right.
But what's really clinches the Wire for me in that last episode is just when McNulty's looking out over Baltimore and he sees this wonderful montage of just what everybody's going to end up being and doing, and how, I guess really the lesson here is that nature abhors a vacuum. One drug addict might find redemption, but somebody else is just going to slide right in to take his place. Bubbles gets to go upstairs, but Dookie's right there starting his own journey. Omar's dead, but Michael's going to step up. It's just, like I said, there's some spoilers there. Sorry.
The good news is I don't know any of these, and by the time I watch it, I'll probably forget.
Forgot it, yep. But most importantly, I think the lesson of The Wire is if you have a moral compass or code, it's going to cost you everything. Bodie, Gus, McNulty, Freeman, Daniels. If you follow a code, you're going to pay a price in the end. It's really something else.
Yeah. I'm about to tell Jamil that we're going to get into that.
Okay.
He's questioning why no MASH was mentioned.
Oh.
So, we actually discussed that.
Yes, we did.
And my reason for not putting MASH on here is it's just been so long since I've seen the finale. I don't think I could talk about it. Like, I don't feel that I have enough kind of memory to talk about it. And that's why it's known as a great ending. But for me, I couldn't put it on there because I couldn't logically talk about it. Mm-hmm. Your reasoning for not putting MASH on, because I thought you were going to.
Yeah, I thought I toyed with it for a second, but I didn't like the show. I didn't like the show that led up to that finale, which I thought was tremendous. How can I call it the best finale when everything before it I was not a fan of?
That's a great point. I think that's it's the finale was more akin to the movie. Mm-hmm. Like the finale felt more as if it was attached to the movie than it was the show.
Right. I agree with that 100%.
So that is why no MASH. But I'm saying I give it props for being a great ending. I just couldn't put it on our list.
Yeah, me too. I think it's a wonderful piece of media created as a standalone all by itself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, it's just been so long since I've watched it that I can't. We're getting booed now.
Yeah, Jamil's throwing
But it's cool.
He's throwing vegetables at us.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jamil, for joining us this week. We love when you join us for the live chat portion of our show. It makes the show much more entertaining, because it's just me and Abe talking. It gets kind of
Well, I can speak for us. Tedious.
Yeah.
Or painful.
Right.
Yeah. Difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of those adjectives. You got anything else?
That's it for me. I think I hit my top 5. I mean, Deep Space Nine would have been my number 6, so take that for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I as I mentioned, I enjoyed Lost. I enjoyed the ending to Lost. I had another one that I was considering that I dropped off. It escapes me at the time. It's not Dexter, though. Not Dexter.
I don't think they made anybody's list.
No, I don't think so. Terrible ending. We can do terrible endings too if you want. Dexter would be up there. Dexter was terrible. Let's close out another episode of the Movies and Stuff show. Please make sure to like this video, comment below with your picks or why you think we're wrong, because we're wrong. Subscribe to us for more awesome content. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Abe, all that stuff out of the way. Final words.
We have to go back, Dan. Yeah, okay, whatever.